What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 48 of the Rise to Glory here at Gibraltar Apex. And today we're in England. We're taking on Fulham at Craven Cottage. It's our first trip to the British Isles as part of this save, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. To be honest, it's been a long save so far, really. 7 years in. Time has really flown by here. But yeah, we're off to Craven Cottage. We're playing Fulham in the Europa League. Should be an interesting one. Before we get into that game, just one game to tell you guys about since the last episode. It was a 7-0 win against Britannia. Perhaps a sign of things to come in the league this year. Lourenco grabbing himself a hat-trick. Of course, Lourenco, the second here, the Mozambican. Good to see him get a few goals, and by a few goals I mean a hat-trick from right mid is not too shabby. Loads of other players chipped in with goals, as you'd perhaps expect. It'll be interesting to see, how many goals our top goal scorer ends up getting in a single season in Gibraltar, and also kind of how many goals a player can get in a career at the club. I'm thinking, if a player spends 20 years playing for us, and assuming the league doesn't improve and they average 2 goals a game, which isn't necessarily unreasonable, we could have a player get 1,000 goals in the league. That's a realistic potential target down the line. Anyway, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. There's a long way to go before we can even really contemplate that. Anyway, let's get into today's game against Fulham. Obviously, there's not been too much going on at the club since the last episode. One thing I will just cover really quickly, because it's something I didn't cover last episode, is how other teams did in Europe who were Gibraltarian. Now, I've got to now try and remember the teams who qualified. I think it was St. Joseph's, not St. Joseph's, College Europa and Glasses. I think that was the 2 teams who qualified. So if firstly we look at Glasses here and look at their senior schedule, you can see they lost in the Europa League 3-2 on aggregate to TNS. Not the worst result, really. They put up some competition, they actually scored, which I guess is a landmark of sorts. The other team who were in it definitely was Glasses United, and if we look at them, they lost 8-0 on aggregate to Dukha Prague, the Czech Republic team. And that was in the first qualifying round of the Europa League. So no progress being made there. In terms of the Gibraltar nation and how the nation's doing, not great, really. This World Cup, the 2022 World Cup, is the first World Cup they've been in qualification for as a member of FIFA. If we look at it here, they were actually put in the same group as San Marino, which, guess what? Meant they got a win. Yes, the senior team beat San Marino 2-0. They've still got to play Cyprus, which is potentially winnable. Armenia is not an impossible game to win, although as you can see here, they've actually lost to them twice already, so it is impossible for them to beat them. But you'd expect them to at least beat San Marino. If we just have a quick flick through the results, they got a draw against Luxembourg in 2020. They got a draw against Lithuania in 2019. 2 draws against Cyprus and the Faroe Islands in 2018. A draw against the United Arab Emirates and a draw against Liechtenstein. And then they beat San Marino back in 2015, which I think we covered at the time. They've won 1 game since the save started. That kind of puts things into perspective, I feel. In fact, no, that's a lie, because of course they beat San Marino recently. Does San Marino count? Someone let me know. Answers on a postcard. Does San Marino count as you beating a team? Really? Anyway, if we look at the world rankings, they're 179th, which isn't actually terrible, really. They're better than Sri Lanka and Tahiti now. They've actually dropped 1 spot recently, and they currently have 59 points. It's worth noting that the difference between kind of themselves and the team 10 points ahead, or so, shall we say 15 points ahead, is almost double. There's a big difference there, and it's going to take a big kind of step up, I guess, from Gibraltar if they want to rise up the world rankings too much. The international manager's job hasn't come available of late. Who knows, maybe it'll come available after the World Cup qualification. I still don't know if I want it this soon, if I'm honest. I feel like I'd want to give it at least maybe another 5 to 10 years before I decided to take the national team job. I just think there's not a lot of point at the moment, if I'm honest, until foreign imports start coming into the kind of country and start taking up Gibraltarian nationality. I mean, you're just going to get spanked every year. So anyway, that's a bit about what's been going on outside of this save. Another little bit of news is, well, there's 2 bits. First and foremost, the board are working on new youth facilities. They're actually spending £4 million on these, which I'm a little bit concerned about. It's more than I'd like them to spend. That is going to start progress in terms of the building phase, I believe, at the end of the year, and it's going to be done by October next year, so in just under a year's time. Or just over a year's time, in fact. Other bit of news, I did a coaching qualification. Now, to be honest, this isn't a page I've shown very much the kind of manager profile. If you want to pause it and look at the stats, feel free to. But yeah, we're starting a new coach qualification course. I did my Continental C. As you can see, we're now studying for our Continental B. In terms of our actual history, we've obviously had one job. We've had 0 days on holiday, and we've spent 2,000 even, and 28 games or days in game. Highest fee spent was for Wanmar. Highest fee received was for Ian Hart. Total fee paid to agents is 525k. We've sold players for 115k, and we've spent 240k. All in all, 71% win percentage, and that includes 167 wins in 233 games played. Not a bad record. I think it's fair to say that's pretty decent. And yeah, that's kind of, I guess, a bit about us there. In terms of the Hall of Fame, I don't know if the Hall of Fame is still glitched out. You guys may remember it seems to be adding a new kind of entry every time we win a competition. It seems like it's fixed itself now. So we are number 1 in the Hall of Fame with 23 score. Now, unfortunately, unless it's changed and I don't know, even when the league rep kind of increases and stuff, the actual score in the Hall of Fame that's given for, say, winning the Gibraltarian Premier League doesn't actually go up that significantly. And as a result, if you want to get into the worldwide Hall of Fame, well, we're going to have to do 200 times what we've already done. So we're going to have to play another 800 seasons. Yeah, that could, if we want to, that's if we want to surpass Sir Alex Ferguson. That might be a little bit ambitious, but I mean, when you compare us to other managers here in Gibraltar, we've not done too badly. And of course, Lee Fenley, our former centre-back, he is still manager at Red Imps. He's age 36. He's actually improved a little bit as a coach, really. And he's doing an okay job there. Obviously, Lincoln Red Imps, they've lost in the relegation playoffs the last 2 years. So anyway, looking at today's game, we are taking on Fulham. We've already talked a little bit about the squad. In terms of the players missing, just to recap, Robson's out with an injury. Jesus and Danny Evans are out with suspensions. As a result of those suspensions, we have to move around players. And I swear there's another player missing. There isn't another player missing. I'm going crazy. But what it does mean is that we are playing Aaron Holmes at centre-back. He's not a bad centre-back, the Gibraltarian, 19 years old. Coming close to his potential, really, but he's not a bad player by any means. And the other player coming into the squad is Glenn Gilbert, the club's record league appearance holder, I want to say, with 135. I think that's the record. But either way, nice to have him back in the club. Perhaps wouldn't want him back for this game, but unfortunately, beggars can't be choosers. We don't have an alternative right back, of course. Just to remind you, we have got Jay Marriott joining us, the left back from LA Galaxy. He would have been ideal for this situation. Unfortunately, however, for us, he does not join until January. So anyway, let's submit our team for today's game. We are taking on, as I already mentioned, Fulham away from home. They are, I believe, the third seed in this group. But regardless, it's not going to be easy. At the time of kind of the group draw a few episodes ago, I was quite happy with it. It wasn't until I actually looked at how good Malmo, Zenit and Fulham are that, I mean, I wasn't so pleased all of a sudden. But we're going to do our best here. You know, if we can get a goal, fantastic. I think that's got to be the aim. If we can score in every single match, I'll be a happy bunny, even if we don't get a win. I guess the aim would be to surpass last year's performance in Europe, in the Europa League, where, of course, we got 1-0 draw against Bursaspor. I think that was away from home. If we could get, 2 points or more this year, it's progress. I mean, to be honest, to get to the Europa League 2 years in a row, I'm kind of happy with. That's a good achievement. Obviously, we want to build off that if we can. But it's going to be slow progress, and we've actually given away a penalty there. Lorenko, the culprit, the right winger, defending the corner. He's committed the foul, and now Fulham, with a chance from the spot, who is going to be stepping up for them? It's going to be their number 26. Is that Thomas Ince? Is it Thomas Ince? It is Tom Ince. He scores his 4th goal of the season there for Fulham. The first of the game, makes it 1-0. We are away from home. It's not going to be easy. I must admit, I've been to Craven Cottage a few times in real life. It's quite a nice little stadium. Bit of an experience to go here with Gibraltar Apex. I mean, it's not quite the Victoria Stadium, and, well, there isn't the cottage in the corner near the away fans. But with the exception of that, it's quite accurate. I mean, it's not accurate at all, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. If you've never seen Fulham Stadium, Craven Cottage, I actually recommend looking at it and learning a little bit about the history of it. It's a very bizarre, I want to say it's bizarre, it's pretty fucking cool. They have a cottage in the corner of the stadium, as you do. That's why it's called Craven Cottage. There's the clue in the name. I don't know, does it still have the Michael Jackson statue? I swear there was a Michael Jackson statue outside Fulham's ground for a while. I have a feeling the chairman got it pulled down. Might be wrong. I might be just making up a story there. It sounds like something made up, doesn't it? But I do think that happened. Let me know if you're a Fulham fan. Please just confirm for me. Anyway, it's still 1-0 here, but they are on the attack here, Fulham. It's early on in the second half. Looking at the stats, we're yet to have a shot on target. Fulham, they've been the better team, but nice tackle there, although we give the ball straight back to them. And now Aziz, that's a cool name, with the ball. Tobika, the right back, bringing it forward. Can he whip in a ball of quality? We hope not. Holmes clears it away, but only as far as Aziz. Back out wide with Tobika. Whips it in again. Holmes, nice header. Now can we deal with this? That's a nice tackle. And now it's a 2-on-2 at the back. Wanma threaded through. Can he use his pace? Can he finish it? He can. It's 1-1. We've scored. Wanma. 8th goal of the season for him. Kuka with the assist as well. We have some pacey strikers. And the pace has paid off there. Fulham caught pushing very high up. Wanma on the break. Finds some space. Slots it in. Makes it 1-1 here with our first shot on goal. And well, we've not had many chances, but we've had the chance that came our way there. That was a lovely finish there by the striker. In terms of how we're doing, well, apparently Lourenco's had a mare. I can confirm he's not had a good game. Unfortunately for us, we've not got an abundance of options, I guess, to replace him with. I'm going to bring on Leon O'Connor, I think, though. He normally plays left mid. Of course, Leon O'Connor. He's been training for left mid for 2 years. In case you're wondering, no, he still can't play there, but we're going to put him there now today. Well, no, we're not, actually. We're playing him at right mid, which is a position he definitely can't play. But he has the attributes to play there. We're going to give him a chance. He'll probably score now, knowing Leon. It's kind of what he does. Anyway, we are applying pressure up the field here. Get the ball from Fulham there. Glennie Gilbert to Holmes. To Angeles. To Kuki. Cleared away. But now with Klassen. And now they're bringing the ball forward. We want to hold them to a draw. And Putman's just put in a tackle, or Putnam. Please, oh, it's a red. How many red cards are we going to get in live comms this year? This is actually unreal. Someone keep count. I think that's 4. I might be wrong. Answers on a postcard in the comments. I think that's 4 this year. That's unreal. That is actually unreal. Wow. Well, now we have a situation, don't we? Now we have to bring on Peter Morgan. For some reason, when I turn on my recording software, it seems to fiddle around with the pitch interaction. It's really weird. Stops it working properly. Anyway, we're gonna have to try and hit them on the break now and just try and counter. I can't believe how many sendings off. It feels like every live com in Europe. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Not every live com. I think we had one without a red card. But I think with the exception of maybe the 3rd qualifying round, we've always had a sending off. It's mad. It's madness. I'm not happy about it. Anyway, it's 1-1 here. I mean, we're a man down here. If we could hold on for the draw, that would be quite an achievement at this point. And Fulham are bringing the ball forward. And it's Arogo, I guess that's his name. Or Arojo, or Ho. It should be Ho, shouldn't it? Because it's a J. I don't know. Hey, that rhymed. Poet, didn't know it. Can't use that line. I've used that far too much in this series. I think that is the poet I didn't know it counter up to maybe 4 times used in this series. Granted, we are coming up to episode 50 now. But anyway, Fulham really kind of unleashing hell now on us. We're down a man. It's tricky. We had the ball clear though there. But they're going to try and get the ball back into the box. Just don't give away a penalty now. That's all I ask. Bielik, Klassen, Arogo. Nice block there by Holmes. He's played very, very well today, really. He's had a few key headers I've noticed just in the highlights we've had. Can we counter Gary? Not with passes like that, Gary. We can't. Out wide with Williams. Going to try and cross it in. Cleared away, though, by Glenn Gilbert. And Wanma just smashes it at the advertising hoardings for no apparent reason, really. 15 minutes left here, though. It looks like it's probably going to finish with Fulham in the lead. Part of me wants to go on attack, for the last however many minutes. How many minutes? 7 minutes to try and get a goal for a point. I mean, it's the dream. It's the dream. Dare we dream? I'm daring to dream. We're going on attacking here. We're going to try and do it. I mean, there's no point now, is there, in sitting back and just kind of feeling sorry for ourselves. We need to go route one. We need to whip the ball into the cross. We need to close down more, much higher tempo, be more direct. Let's just go for it. We have 7 minutes to try and get a goal, to get a draw. I mean, granted, they have the possession here. Hopefully, they're not going to score from it. Otherwise, the changes I've made are pretty irrelevant. Romero, nice save there by the American between the sticks. And now, hopefully, we can try and get something. I mean, I say hopefully, as in I'm really, really hoping, but I doubt it. I mean, I'm probably praying more than I'm hoping, if I'm honest. Just because we need a miracle. It's not a likely outcome to hope for. Anyway, Gary does have the ball here. Can we do something? O'Connor. I mean, there's options on ahead, mate, if you want to just boot the ball over the top. Wanma, go on. Use your pace. Burn him. Oh, okay, all the highlight can just end there. And I feel silly. Right, 40 seconds left. That is probably going to be all she wrote for this game, unfortunately for us. It's another really valiant display. We lost against Celta Vigo last time out 2-1. It looks like we're going to lose here against Fulham 2-1. And it's, I don't know, it's disappointing. I guess the fact we got a red card has really impacted us here. It's been a pretty good display from us. Unfortunately, however, you know, we're going to go down fighting. And I'm just going to tell the players after that they were unlucky. It was a good performance. I do feel hard done by to lose there. Worth noting, Celta Vigo did beat Zenit. So maybe Zenit are beatable. Maybe Zenit are beatable. What was the result in Group E of that Zenit game? It was 4-1 to Celta Vigo. So by the laws of that, we should now beat Zenit. Except Zenit beat Fulham. So that really doesn't work. Either way, though, you know, we're going to go into that Zenit game hoping for something. It's worth noting here, I'm scouting a load of different players. I think I've got over 300 players that I'm in the process of scouting. You're probably wondering, well, Jack, who are you scouting? What I've actually done is I've put contract status is expiring in a year. And then I've put contract and then wage down here. And then I've put most is 2.5k. And then I've unticked the realistic transfer option, and I'm basically scouting every single one of these players. And the reason I'm scouting them all is because they're likely to be approachable on free contracts in January. So I'm kind of planning ahead, you know, seeing what players are going to be coming up. And obviously, in having like a massive database of so many players scouted, it gives me a lot of options to potentially go for now. Unfortunately for us, I mean, it's going to be tricky to approach these players because a lot of them aren't going to want to join. But those that do want to join and might have a chance of joining, you know, we'll be able to get in on frees potentially, which is kind of what I'm hoping to do with at least a few of these players. As you can see, there's a lot of players here that I've already got scouted. There's more on the way. We're not going to have a shortage of players to potentially choose from, and I'm kind of just planning ahead with it. It's something I definitely recommend you do, even if you're just doing kind of a Premier League save or, you know, a save around Europe, anywhere really. Look at the contract statuses and don't start scouting players 6 months before their contracts are up. If you say you're managing in England, obviously if you put the 6 months left of contract, you can approach players outside of England to join you at the end of the year. Don't start scouting them then. Be scouting them when there's a year left on their contract so you can immediately approach them on the 1st of January and really already have the transfer targets outlined. But anyway, that's going to wrap up everything from me, guys, for this episode. It's the 1st of October. Not a bad result, but, I mean, it's a little bit of one to forget. In terms of when we'll be back, I think we'll be back for the Zenit St. Petersburg game on the 21st. That is in 3 weeks' time. Hopefully, I'll see you guys for that one. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do smash the like button. If you've got any questions, any queries, if you're a Fulham fan, let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.